This is Character Asked It. You already know Character did it, and I'm here with Dayreal. Dayreal, tell us about
Oh,
yourself, bro. Man, that took a lot of
yo,
effort. I will hate.
yo, your boy Dayreal, or Dayreal, for those who know how to roll the arm. 21 years old, fresh out of the North Ward of Newark, New Jersey, over here on the East Coast. Feel me? I've been making music since I was 10 years old. I'm only 21, like I mentioned. You feel me? So, started off poetry. Always was a different type of kid growing up. You know what I mean? Very artistic, and then one thing just led to another.
For sure, for sure. So, I mean, what made you start making music at 10 years old?
So, oh shit, my bad.
You good?
You can still hear me properly?
Yeah, no, you're fine. You're in New York. I mean, Jersey. You know, we're gonna hear some sirens. Like,
Oh shit. Nah, so anyways, like I mentioned, it started off with poetry. Always was an artistic kid. I like to believe that my music career was destiny, God's plan, Allah's plan, energy's plan, whatever type of higher power someone believes in. Feel me? I got old school parents. They was born in the 60s. And I'm a first generation here in America. My pops is from Guatemala and my mom's is from Costa Rica. So when my father came up here, he came up at the age of 17. So you do the math, mid 60s, 17 is like late 70s, early 80s, you feel me? So he knew all types of rock music, classical rock, you feel me, rock and roll, new metal, like he saw all of that. And my mom, she was more cultural, so she showed me all types of Spanish music, you know, all the traditional roots. And I'll be completely honest with you. At first, I wanted to do like emo, punk, rock. I wanted to do all that shit, bro, because that's what I grew up on. But you know, I grew up in the hood at the same time, so I was the only kid who was bumping that type of music. Everybody else, grade school, they was listening to rap. Even my older brother, who's older than me by 6 years, was listening to rap, and I was like, "Yo, what is this?" And then I just had the idea of mixing rap and rock, but I always got bullied in school, so I ain't had the confidence to explore that type of option. So I'm like, let me do some poetry. You know what I mean? Because I loved the rhymes, the flows, the patterns. It didn't even matter if line A matched with line B. You can make it work. So then after a while, it's just like, let me start getting with this. Unfortunately, a lot of people rejected me for it. So then after a while, just year by year, unfortunately, I was one of those kids who followed the wrong path, got in with the wrong people, made some wrong choices. But that shit doesn't define you. You know what I mean? It's all about growth. And then I kid you not, the Chicago drill scene blew up. You know what I mean? It was like 2014, 2015, and we was out here bumping Chief Keef and Dirk and shit like that. And at that point, I'm like, yo, you know what? All these stories, these gritty stories, they happening right here. You know what I mean? We got shootings happening all the time, carjackings all the time. You feel me? I always remember like walking to school, watching the dealers deal when we got out of school. That way the cops wouldn't like pay attention to them and shit. And shit fucks with you. You know what I mean? And then like after a while, I was like, start doing this. Let me take it back to the basics. You know what I mean? Let me study what rap is because at the end of the day, I came from rock. I came from poetry. So then I started freestyling over the old school beats. Pac, Biggie, Mob Deep, Big L. You know what I mean? I was like, all right, let's work on these freestyles, but then let me also work on freestyling over rock songs. So then I was doing over 3 days Grace instrumentals, Linkin Park instrumentals, and then just throughout the years working and throughout more life experiences, I just became more of a rapper. I was like, I love the lyricism. I love the poetic
yeah,
atmosphere behind it. So then I'm like, but I can't do rock music entirely. I mean, I could, but I can't do it entirely because something just wasn't clicking. You know what I mean? Like as much as I tried to experiment with it, just things weren't clicking with it. But once I started getting the trap beats, the drill beats, I'm like, let me take a different approach. Let me go lyrical with it. Let me get personal. Let me put all those rock elements of the lyricism, poetry, put it over a trap beat, put it over a drill beat. Now we here, bro.
hell yeah. Would you say that having gotten bullied in high school, as much as you were talking about, plays a role in your music?
Absolutely. I know every artist out here in the game has to deal with suffrage. You know what I mean? They got to deal with problems at home. They got to deal with problems out in the streets. Whatever types of personal issues they got to deal with. But common story with artists that they used to be the cool kids. They used to be the jokers in class. I wasn't like that at all. You feel me? I was the definition of a full blown nerd. Like books, art. I was never good with hands on material. Just couldn't do it. You wanted to know anything about history, literacy, science? I got you though. Anything artistic? I got you. And for whatever reason, I just wasn't the cool kid because of that. Because I was different. Everybody else was just making jokes, fucking up, trying to be down. You know what I mean? That's all we had. You know what I mean? All we got is the OGs right outside of school. That's what most of the kids want to impress. But I always knew deep down that it wasn't the right thing to do, even though I eventually did it. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Oh, like I like when I say I was bullied like all my years, bro.
Like
From
how
the
like
get go.
what, did you get your ass kicked? Like,
Nah, just like a lot of name calling, a lot of puts downs,
and
like
bro, that shit is worse than physical
exactly. You know
attacks.
what I mean? Exactly, because you know I remember as early as preschool being in timeout just because like I wanted to participate too much. You feel me? Kindergarten. Unfortunately, I went to my mom's tried to do the right thing. I mean, she didn't want to send me to public schools, so we went to a charter school. And unfortunately, there was a lot of racism involved in that shit. They didn't want the Hispanic kids knowing their background. They didn't want them speaking Spanish. They didn't
Wow.
want black kids bumping rap music. They didn't want none of us doing that. You know what I mean? It was very sad. And then it was people of our color too. You know what I mean? Hispanic teachers telling me that, black teachers telling me that. Like I would expect it from the white teachers because that's how we grew up, what we expected from. You know what I mean? But to see our own type of teachers do that to us as kids, I lost touch with my cultural background. You know what I mean? So then when I come back to the hood or I try to I try to communicate with my family, I can't communicate because I don't know Spanish. I can't get along with the kids in my class because I can't put my input on Spanish culture. And then I like clearly I ain't black, so I ain't got nothing to talk about with my black friends. You know what I mean? Because around the time when I was growing up, everything was even back home. It was just so much. It was so much racism when I was growing up. Everything was just category. You feel me? They wanted the Hispanics with the Hispanics only doing Hispanic stuff. They wanted the blacks with the blacks only doing black stuff. Whites with the whites. It was like that. But I never followed those ways because I just knew something was wrong with that, and that put a big target on me. So you feel me? And then now you got kids also picking on me for being like that, not being with my own kind, trying to be down with someone who's not you. You feel me? That shit, I'll admit, it left a deep wound in me. Cause you feel me? I'm like, damn, teachers don't fuck with me, students don't like me. My friends aren't even really friends with me. I got whatever issues going on at home. Now I gotta deal with what I gotta see in the streets every day.
And a positive word isn't never spoken about you, which makes you start
Exactly.
believing everything negative.
Exactly. And then I'll admit, just like a lot of other unfortunate kids, I crashed out. You know what I mean? I got into the streets. I got into drugs. I got into the mindset where it's like, fuck it, I'm ready to die today. You feel me? Before 18. You know what I mean? The very unfortunate story. At the end of the day, like I always say, I had my mind, and I always knew everything I was doing was wrong. And one thing I always kept coming back to was the music, bro. It was that pen and that paper. It was the beats. And then for anybody who listens to my catalog, always hear that personal touch with it. You won't hear me rapping about shooting motherfuckers, let's go do all this street bullshit. You feel me? Nah, I'm talking about my end of my experiences. my story. You know what I mean? All of it has that Dayreal behind it. You can't listen to another artist and be like, "Oh, I heard those bars from someone else. Oh, I heard that story from someone else." You know what I mean?
Absolutely, bro. That kind of brings proof to a point I like to bring up, and for a long time, I really it just bothered me how it was so common in rap to talk about how great of a rapper you are. You know, I just would rather you prove it by rapping greatly. uh, but it was recently told to me in the way of like most people, most rappers grew up in an environment that had no encouragement and no positivity brought into their lives. So when they talk about how great of a rapper they are, it's because they're proud and it's self affirmation. It's reminding themselves that I was that. I used to think I was that, but now I know I'm the shit.
Hey, bro. I always say it like this: like, there's two types of artists in this world. There's real artists, and then there's entertainment artists. You know what I mean? There's people here who are solely for the money, solely for the image, and solely to be an influencer. Nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? You want all those statuses, you want that title. To me, that's being actually famous. That's cool. You can do that. You know what I mean? I'll never judge another kid from my city who said, "Nah, bro, I'm just trying to make a quick bag." You know what I mean? I'm just trying to support my family. I don't even really do this. You know what I mean? Like, wherever it goes, it goes. That's cool. All props to you. All props to any artist who does that. But with me, I could genuinely say, I say this humbly. I'm not gonna say I'm the best rapper. I'm the greatest rapper. I believe I'm a leading rapper. You know what I mean? I believe I have the potential to break down the doors and take my career far because in reality, like you said, this is all I have. This is all I had. You feel me? Prime example, going back to my father. My father's an electrician. Ever since he got here, he's done all types of manual labor. Tried showing me growing up. I never got the hang of it. My older brother did. You know what I mean? My mom's tried to show me more hands-on labor. I ain't catch it. My brother did. What was one thing they ain't have? Ooh, I had the mind of a poet. I had the mind of an artist. You know what I mean? That's why I don't call myself a rapper at the end of the day. Because anybody could rap. Anybody could put bars together. You know what I mean? But I didn't start off by rapping. I started off no beat, just my emotions, just my thoughts on a piece of paper with the hopes of one day, hey, maybe I'll publish a poetry book. Then nah, it built into that. Like respectfully, if I ain't have music, I didn't know what the fuck I was gonna do, bro. Like the thought of graduating back in high school was the scariest shit to me because I'm like, damn, there's nothing after this. You know what I mean? I'm like, and I knew back then, and shout outs to all the college kids, you know what I mean? Shout outs to college kids. Y'all doing y'all thing, y'all getting y'all education the same way we are getting our own type of education, our own type of careers. But to some people, it's just a way to find some time, to buy some time in what they're going to do for the rest of their life. You know what I mean? I knew I didn't want to end up in college, even though I ended up going to college. I knew before I went that was the whole point. You know what I mean? For me. And then I was thinking, like, what's after college then? A bullshit ass job, an internship that's probably not going to pay me, living another normal life. Nothing's wrong with that, but if you know deep down you destined for something different, if you just have that gut feeling, like prime example, you being an interviewer, you know what I mean? You couldn't see yourself doing anything else besides this shit. Look at where you at now. We one and the same people, we just took different approaches. You know what I
Absolutely,
mean?
absolutely.
So like I had no clue what I was gonna do if I wasn't making music, bro. Even without having that status of success or making it yet, bro, I'm happy as fuck making music. You know what I mean? I'm genuinely content with life. And to me that's the whole point. Going back to saying this is all I have, like respectfully, bro, this is all I have. So many times like Even my fiance could testify to this. Anyone close to me, times I'd break down crying, scream, throw my notebook, fucking yell at the top of my lungs, you know what I mean? Say, I'm done. Done, I quit. No more. Bro, look where we at. We're here, you feel me?
No, I got you, bro, for sure. Music is it's been the most therapeutic tool I've ever found in my life. I don't do it for I don't like promote my music, but it's therapy for me. I'm never gonna stop making music because I need it in my life.
That's always, that's honestly my main theme. You know, a genuine question to all types of artists comes up like, what do you want people to take away from your music? Therapy, bro. At the end of the day, it's art. At the end of the day, it's an energy. You feel me? The industry came centuries later. You feel me? They were making music for centuries on centuries on centuries, generations, bro. Like, it was never about money,
Exactly.
success, or fame. It's about cleansing yourself. You know what
Yep.
I mean? That's why, it goes back to artists should just talk about whatever they want to talk about. Don't feel censored. Just put it out there. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
There's 8 billion people on this planet and counting. You know what I mean? There's a crowd and there's people who are going to relate to you. Sure.
Facts. Facts. Tell me about all your accomplishments.
On my accomplishments, oof, man, to me, every day is an accomplishment.
Mm.
Every day getting up, having the ability to think, work a new plan, hear a new beat, get a new bar in, even if it's just one bar, all of that is an accomplishment. You know what I mean? But in the real life aspect of it, like I said, I've been doing this 10 years, and like we spoke when we were texting, I just started hopping into these shows. You know what I mean? Like I just started doing shows in my state just 2 months ago. Shout outs to Underground Hype Club. Shout out to my boy Jake. You feel me? He gave me my first show just last August in Columbus, down in Georgia. You feel me? Then he gave me my second show, and I believe it was October down there again.
No
And
shit. That's
then
amazing.
yeah, and then shout out to the Black Heart Society. Shout out to my boy Envy. He gave me my first show in Jersey as a whole. We had a show out in Lodi where I opened up for them. And then, after a while, like I said, got the right plug 2 months ago. I stayed tapped in, still networked. I mean, took advantage of the time being in something like rehearsals, just meeting new people overall. You know what I mean? I'll be completely honest. If you saw my first performance like 2 months ago, and the reason I say that was my first performance is because I've been consistent ever since then. Other than that, it was just like little breakages in between. Like, bro, I was so shy, unconfident, scared. You know what I mean? Bro, then after that, now you got me on the mic yelling. Got me on the mic interacting with the crowd. Because now I got that confidence, that self love behind it. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. You know, I got a show upcoming in Nashville in July. It's far away from home. You know what I mean? And then now I'm opening up for Drewski in July. Opening up for Rowdy Rebel in July as well. So now I'm getting some real,
Hell yeah,
real,
bro.
yeah,
Hell
you know what I
yeah.
mean? Some real
Bro.
motion, you know what I
That's
mean?
exciting, man.
Yeah, bro, don't get me wrong. Like, yo, like, this is what I'm saying. Just a couple months ago, I would have not thought I would have been in this
Two
position.
months. That's crazy, bro. Congratulations, man. For real.
Appreciate you, bro. But that's what I want to also spread that message to the artists, yo. Like, just put in the work, bro. It's corny. It's corny because so many people say it. Just believe in yourself and put in the work. But,
It's
bro,
so
that's
true.
literally
It's
all
so
to
true.
do. It's all you can do, bro. As you being shy, you being nervous, it's gonna close so many doors. Remember, it's gonna close so many doors. And I
Facts.
and I think of it like this. I think of this analogy. Every door is closed to begin with. But when you shy, when you unconfident, or when you just act cocky in general, you know what I mean? When you act like you someone you're not, people gonna lock the door. But if you come there approaching everybody with respect, having faith in yourself, keeping your head up, looking everybody in the eye,
Being your
doors open.
genuine self.
Exactly. And that's another thing, like, I've noticed. Like, I've been to some shows, I'll see dudes come in with like 100 people, and it's like, bro, just get over it. You know what I mean? We've seen this too many times. You know what I mean? We get it. We we're walking fed case, to be honest. You know what I mean? Like, I pop out to these shows. I pop out with my fiance, my big bro, my little bro. You know what I mean? 4 people not coming in, making a show,
Right.
coming, tapping everybody up, showing love to everybody, recording all the artists, tapping in with the DJs. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, you got to be yourself. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, everybody who has a front gets tired at a certain point. Shit burns you out because you put an energy into being 2 people at one time. You know what I mean? Uh, other accomplishments beside that, one thing I like to promote, being independent as an artist, knowing the business before you get involved in the business. You know what I mean? Recently, I trademarked my name, so it means I got my stage name protected, and it came with some more classes behind it of protection. Got my stage presence protected, got my music protected now. You know what I mean? The next thing to do is open an LLC behind the name. You know what I mean? This is free game for the artist
Yep.
watching this. Remember that, bro. Because at the end of the day, yeah, you can do things independent, but you can't do things completely alone. At some day, you're gonna have to work with other labels, other partnerships, other businesses. But when you have those types of protections with you and you walk into those rooms, you walking in as a business owner, not as an artist looking for opportunity. You walking in as a business owner
Here,
for exactly for partnerships, collaborations, investments, not to go get a job. So stuff like that. Those are my biggest accomplishments.
and if you
Definitely
go
get
to you go to incfile.com, incfile.com, and you could register a LLC for free. All you got to do is pay the state fee.
exactly. But other than that, definitely getting better with my sound. Got a lot of stuff in the vault that's ready to shake the world.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
How
I,
about
I feel
what are some of the obstacles that you faced?
obstacles I faced during this, getting scammed, getting lied to.
Bro, everybody gets scammed. Everybody gets scammed, bro.
But you know what? It's all part of the hustle.
What
I look
happened?
back at I remember my very, very first show. Crazy. I don't even consider this a show. I had a plug out in Tampa. We were promised a crowd of 200, 300 people in an underground scene, like kind of like a venue that was in 8 Mile, like one of those really underground scenes. I was like, bet, like, you know what, let's show out. I'm 16. I'm thinking, let's
Oof.
get it. Let's go. You know what I mean? My first show out of state. Quote, I
In
only had,
Florida.
exactly, I only had one song, by the way. So, what was I thinking? You know what I mean? I was
You
completely out
went
of my
out of state
mind.
to do one song.
It's all good, though. You feel me? Anyways, so, like, I get the flight ticket. I get the tickets to go to the actual show. You feel me? It was just an open mic bar in the middle of downtown Tampa. I mean, like, it was midday, only
Oh,
like
oh man.
15 people
Midday.
there.
That sucks, bro. That sucks.
It's all good. I remember one time I got tapped in with this marketing agency, spending like a solid 150, $200 a month on some bots. You feel me?
Oh, damn.
I kid you not. I almost got shadow banned, but good thing. Like, I like that's how you learn. You know what I mean? So I learned after noticing some things, and I'm like, it's not worth it having an account seem one way and you really a nobody. Respectfully,
Exactly. Exactly. My bad, bro.
Thank God I got off that before it shadow banned my account. That's why I still have my account legit and using
Nice.
everything. All 4K followers real, all views are real. But um, other obstacles like just honestly getting my name out there. When I was involved with the wrong things, you feel me? Unfortunately, I built a bad reputation. Certain accusations went out, but my name cleared up. You feel me? You ain't finding my name on no paperwork, on nobody shit. So, unfortunately, I got into a lot of problems with a lot of people, and my music was being blackballed for a good point. People didn't want to bump it. People didn't want to share it. People didn't want to support because of the accusations behind it. And that's the problem with accusations in the game. You feel me? When you get those types of accusations, even if you clear yourself, everyone cares about the drama. You feel me? They don't care about you telling the truth. You feel me? Like I said, I follow the three monks. You feel me? Hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil. You
Oh
ain't
yeah.
finding me. But yeah, that was going through a good point. That was honestly why all through high school I never had real motion. I never had motion in my first years of college because everybody everybody knew me for the wrong reasons, and no one cared to know my side of situations. But I never let that stop me. I had to fight through that. Keep dropping music. Keep getting more personal with the music. You know what I mean? Express that type of anger because at the end of the day, you can't fight everybody. You can't yell at everybody. So you gotta, like, we go back to the therapy, bro. I'll admit, like, I got multiple things wrong in my head. You know what I mean? Like, I got PTSD. I go through seasonal depression that has an acute bipolar disorder behind it. You know what I mean? Going through that, trying to like harvesting all that anger and pain inside, bro. Like, it goes back to crashing out. You know what I mean? The music, it stopped all that. You know what I mean? And like I said, just keep fighting through it, bro. I fought through the black ball. Look at me now. I'm doing shows. You feel me? Humbly, thank God. You know what I mean? I'm doing an interview with you. Appreciate you. You feel me? Everything is a blessing. Even if it's a small step, it's a blessing. But those three obstacles is what it now. You know what I mean? And now it's just being business smart because a lot of people with a lot of money and status, they take advantage of the underdogs. You know what I mean? It's either bread or they taking over their music, they taking over their career, their businesses. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because I always say it like this: $1 million in cash looks beautiful up front, but if someone's offering you $1 million in cash, remember it took 10, 12 people to come up with that number. It's like a jury. You know what I mean? So what's better? You taking that million up front, or you just staying a little bit low for a while and see what you really worth? You know what I mean? I've been to label meetings, I've been seeing money up front. It's not it's not worth it. You
No.
know what I mean?
No.
Because at the end of the day, don't get me wrong, I'm not getting offered like six figures. You know what I mean? I'm not getting anywhere near like 100K. You know what I mean? So, but the thing is, even a random figure, like let's just say 50, you could pay all your bills, you could get a good head start, you can start investing money. But bro, like, what do you have to give up for even just the amount of that little bit of bread?
Yep.
So now it's just protecting the brand. That's the real obstacle. Protecting the brand, staying headstrong, keep believing in God or whatever higher power. Just
That's the
stay.
mindset, bro. That's the mindset. Where's the name come from?
So my first name, you know how rappers they usually have like cool first names or like some exotic names? Nah, bro. My first name Dylan, bro. I
What are you
gotta.
talking about? We got Wayne and Sean, and I mean that's not
Nah, but check
unusual.
this, bro. I'm like, when I was born, my brother was 6 years old. I was named after the Rugrats character. You feel me? So like, yeah, and when I went to school, I even got bullied for my name, bro. You
Damn,
know what I
bro.
mean? Like every part of me got bullied. My name, how I look, my weight, my height, everything, bro. So then, after a while, like, I kind of got self conscious about the name. I wasn't really like liking it. So I was like, hey, I'm like, I got the three letters in my name. Just take out the L and the N. I'm like, just Day.
Okay.
And the Rayal, or the real, came from back then in high school. I was like a freshman. I was cool with some folks that was making music. We was trying to do like some band type stuff, and offered the real name to my partner back then. We ain't cool. We fell off. So feel me? And like, he had the same type of story as me. We was both Hispanics. We got taken away from our original culture. We got thrown in the middle of race wars and beefs out in the street. You feel me? I was like, nah, we should show some love to the Hispanic side of us. You feel me? Embrace our actual roots, because at the end of the day, when we get big, like, that's our people. You know what I mean? Like, I got a couple Spanish records, but I don't like, I know when I hit a certain point, I don't have to make a Spanish record. I could go show out in one in like the countries from Central America or South America, all over Latin America, just cause I'm showing out for my culture. Gonna be mad love behind it. You know what I mean? So he ain't take it. So I was like, I bet, like, I'm gonna start this up as a team, like, for some underdogs who's been through race wars, and you didn't even have to be a Hispanic. You could be black, and you could get that AI name behind it. You just jack the real part. You say it in English. But yeah, so then I just took it and I adopted it ever since. Dayreal in Spanish, the adjective also always goes after the noun. So day, my name, the noun, Real, the adjective. So it would translate real day. But since not a lot of people know how to roll the R, you say day real. Like, when you're talking to someone, you be like, yo, day real, right? Because I'm
It,
just a real dude. You know what I mean? Like I said, at the end of the day, behind all this music, I'm just a normal person.
oh
Same
yeah.
24 hours as everybody else, same opportunities. And like, showing love to the Hispanic side. Real.
No doubt. No doubt. What does success in life look like to you?
Success in life, my biggest dream is to revamp music industry. And what I mean by
Hmm.
that, I
Good answer.
mean, like, let's take out how much entertainment has saturated the industry. You know what I mean? Like, for an example, copy and paste artists. You know what I mean? Everyone who just says who's the hottest right now, flip the track. That way you can get a quick bag. You know what I mean? You're selling yourself short just for the bread. I want to get that concept out of the industry, revamp it, bring back real art. You know what I mean? I've been to so many open mics, so many underground shows. I've seen so many pure artists, bro. So many pure producers, motherfuckers giving their entire emotion out. I've seen people break down on stage because their song is that emotional. You know what I mean? And it's unfortunate because you see all this talent, all this rawness, and then you look at the industry and you're like, damn, like, how did it get this bad? You know what I mean? Everything is so money driven, and to me, that's the definition of selling your soul. That's the real devil of the industry. All these like conspiracies that people talk about, I don't believe in none of that. I believe in the analogy of what it means. That all that going on is bad. You know what I mean? Look, you know how many artists like Jordan Lucas, prime example. Bro's making a crap ton of money. He living his life as a real artist, owning his music, able to collab with anybody. You know what I mean? He doesn't even have to be the biggest artist. You know what I mean? For people who don't listen to that, look at artists like G Herbo, Key Glock. You know what I mean? Look at Gucci Mane. You feel me? All these artists got all their established names, all their royalties, all their rights, and they're heavy hitters in the industry. They don't need a Billboard #1 hit. They don't need to sell out a crowd of 60,000. You know what I mean?
They
It's
built their
stuff like
brand.
that.
They're eating.
Exactly.
They're eating. They're happy.
Exactly. And you know what? They're making a difference in the industry.
Exactly.
That, that's the type of impact I want to make. That to me is what real success is. It's not about all the luxurious life. It's about having my name out there and being memorable as the one who brought back art, who refreshed the game. You know what I mean? Did something different. Bringing lyricism from inspired rock and punk on trap beats and drill beats that are from my boy from London. You feel me? So he got a London twist on it, and then I got my engineer who he's a veteran. He's been doing this like 15 years at this point. So he has his own style and influence on my music as well. So I got old school inspiration, inspiration from London with a mixture of the inspiration from the South. I'm from the North, so I rap fast. I go lyrical. I go the traditional route. Mix all of that in one, bro. That's, that's 4 or 5 types of way to tackle a beat, to
Hell yeah,
tackle a
bro.
song.
That's what's up.
So, yeah,
You got all the different flavors in
it's like this blunt, bro.
it. Tell me something unique about yourself that most people don't know.
Hey, like I mentioned, I'm only 21. I've met so many people that I speak to, and they're like, "Yo, you sound like an old soul. You sound much older." And honestly, because I was raised in a weird time frame, you know what I mean? Like, I'm young. I'm part of Gen Z, but I ain't really the most tech savvy person. I don't really like getting on the media. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. But you know, at the end of the day, like how I started building my name throughout these shows, like doing the grunt work, that's traditional route. You know what I mean? The way I rap, traditional route. The way that I even write on pen and paper, traditional route. I don't use my phone and go to notes just to do that. Like, I believe in freestyling. I believe writing is better because of the art you can put behind it, the creativity that you can put behind it because you have a little more time. Stuff like that, I believe makes me stand out.
I agree with that. I totally agree with that.
Also, like, I got love for animals. You know what I mean? Shout outs to the animals,
Shout
definitely.
out to the animals.
Shout outs to the environment. You know what I mean? We
Hell yeah,
gotta,
though.
like I said, everything goes back to energy. You know what I mean? We gotta live in a clean world. We gotta show love to the beings that were here before us. You know what I mean? When the world ends, the animals are still gonna be here. The world's still gonna be here. You know what I mean? The world adapted. How many times has the world ended?
For sure. Oh, don't get me started.
Exactly, bro. And thing 3, bro. Like I said, I'm just a normal person, bro. Just a down to earth dude. Just trying to make music, trying to feed my family, trying to stay alive, trying to be happy. You know what I mean? There's
Yep.
no gimmick. There's no front. You know what I mean? You meet me in person, I'm gonna dap you up. I'm gonna show you love. You know what I mean? I'm gonna let you know what I do. I'm gonna let you know what we can chop it up. Whatever we can. If we can work, we can work. Make a song, make a song. Even if it's a sit in on a music session and you need some advice, doing stuff like that. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I used to I used to have the mindset of this game being a race. Who's gonna make it to the top first? I wouldn't say I was a hater back in the day, but I definitely used to do a lot of self comparison, which, ultimately impacted me negatively, mentally. You know what I mean? Also with the way I approach music as a whole, it messed with how I was writing music and everything. But, you know, like still I had the approach like greatness to them that they making their successes, they making their money, they're building their name. But I was like, I wish I was there. Can't think like that. You know what I mean? Now that I've matured and gotten a little bit older, and I know, like I said, I'm young. I got decades on decades to grow, bro. But I've already been through a lot of experiences that a lot of the older folks have been through. You know what I mean? And now, like I said, I don't care who makes it before me. Good for you, bro. You got your own motion. You know what I mean? Good for you. If you doing your own thing, I respect you. If you copy and paste, I don't really want to chop it up with you, respectfully. You know
NPC,
what I mean?
bro.
People who are more money hungry, we could chop it up, but it's a 50-50 if we gonna continue a conversation or not. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it goes back to what I want to do with this music. Make it real, make it authentic, make it pure. You know what I mean? So much evil out here. Just
Mm.
make it pure, purify it.
Hell yeah, bro.
Definitely those three things. I'm an old soul and a young person. Protect the environment. You know what I mean? Because we gotta breathe the clean air. That way, we have good, good air in our system to be making these music. You know what I mean?
No doubt.
Stuff like that. And three, like I said, just regular human. I'm no different from you, bro.
So tell me, is there anything that I didn't think to ask you, I didn't know to ask you, or is there anything you got coming up you want to talk about?
Oh yeah. So y'all could go check out my last album, my sophomore album, all platforms 2.0. Just search up Dayreal, Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube, Tidal, all over SoundCloud, Audio Mac. We working on our third album now, my junior album. Shout out to my boy AJ, feel me, my producer from London. We about to cooking up some crazy stuff. You know what I mean? Like shout out to my boy Chief for real. He's been rocking with me for the past 5 years since I was a sophomore in high school. My first engineer, my only engineer, and I've been working with him ever since. Shout out to my fiance. She took me a very long way. Like I said, she's seen me break down multiple times and she's kept me going. You know what I mean? Shout out to Underground Hype Club. You feel me? Gave me my first opportunity and I've been rocking with them ever since. You know what I mean? I'm their brand ambassador now. You know what I mean? So I try to go to as many artists throughout these events that I go to and, put them on, let them know you can get some promo with some real people in an actual community. You know what I mean? You can testify to that too. You ain't got no bots. You got people actually showing love. You know what I mean? Working out some deals. We got shows, other opportunities. You know what I mean? Shout outs to my own record label that I'm building, Wave Records. You feel me? That's another thing we should have touched on. You feel me? Definitely, like I mentioned, protecting myself, trying to get into the position where like I could sign myself. You know what I mean? Give myself my own advance. You know what I mean?
That's it.
Before we hop into these collaborations and stuff like that. And now all my music is completely legal, as I like to mention. You know what I mean? My advice to artists: stop using the YouTube beats. Read the actual contracts. Don't get yourself messed up in a deal where you making no money because trust me, I've been there, bro. You will think you have a fire beat. You will think you have a fire producer. You'll think you have a fire contract, and at the end of the day, you'll be making 2% off that song.
Yep.
Watch
Yep.
yourselves, bro.
That BeatStars contract is no good.
Exactly.
Form a relationship with a producer. That would be my advice. Reach out to producers and form a relationship with them, and then there's no telling what could happen from there.
Exactly. You get custom beats. Like prime example with me and AJ, we work out an XY amount of beats for XY amount. You know what I mean? I get the beats before anybody. You
Yep.
know what I mean? Same thing with the engineer. Get a real engineer. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, a lot of these studios, they businesses at the end of the day. If you don't know what you're talking about, if you're not right with the terminology, if you don't have a clue on how you want to do your song, you're gonna get ripped off and you're not gonna get
Yep.
paid right. I
Yep.
mean, and hey, I've heard stories, bro. I've heard stories where engineers they do the studio time payment, they payment, which includes mixing and mastering, and then they want royalties at the end. Come on, man. You know what I mean? We all here to get paid, but we here to get paid the right way. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Not not here to rip anybody off. But other than that, like I mentioned, I believe I'm in the point of my career. with the two major shows I got coming up. Well, three: Nashville, Drewski, Rowdy Rebel. I feel like with the right moves, are we gonna be in a different position? I got faith in God. I got faith in the dream. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah, bro.
So, you know what I mean? Check out my latest song, "Live or Die." A little quick freestyle, 2 minutes, all platforms as well. I got two music videos out on my YouTube. You know what I mean? Find me everywhere. Hey, real.
Man, I can't wait to see where you're at in a few months. For real.
Hey, bro. Like I mentioned, we got to do this in person next time.
No doubt, no doubt. Actually, I'm not far from Nashville, so let me know when that's happening because I could probably show up.
That's happening July 8th,
Okay.
second Friday.
All right. I'll check it out. Remind me again later, but yeah, I'll do you a video, get some badass footage.
Show, bro. Appreciate you, my brother. You know, we spoke months ago. Unfortunately, you know, with everything, both our schedules getting contacted.
Oh
You know
no,
what I
yeah,
mean?
no worries, bro. That's life, man. That's life. It's no big deal. But yeah, I hope I can show up for that, bro. I had a really good time talking to you. I'd like to do this again in person, like you said, for sure.
Show.
This has been Characterized here with Dayreal. He's an awesome dude with a bright future. I'll see you next time.
Yo.